Welcome back everybody, my name is Nick930 and today you are watching a video review for Dead Rising on PC. This game has released for $20 on Steam and is available now. It released early ahead of its September 13th release date, and so far it appears to be a pretty solid port. I'm actually pretty surprised. Usually Capcom does a terrible job with this. Thankfully this time around we're not stuck with games for Windows Live, so we don't have to worry about that the Xbox login crap. So let's start off by talking about the game's gameplay. It's largely unchanged from the original game, so if you've played Dead Rising on the Xbox before, don't expect anything different. All the content is exactly the same. So I'm just going to give a good rundown of the gameplay for those of you who have not actually played the original Dead Rising. So starting off, this game is brutal. It is very difficult. There are no checkpoints. The only way you can save is by saving on one of these save benches. They're very, very rare so far. I haven't seen very many of them. I assume I'll find more. I know you can save at bathrooms also, but I do not know the map well enough, and if you're brand new to the game, you probably won't either. So just be aware that the game is pretty brutal, and you have to be very careful when you're running around and exploring because they only start you off with like 4 bars of health, and so a few zombies hitting you will take you down pretty quick. The zombies are aggressive. Some of them will even run at a pretty moderate pace towards you, so you have to be very aware of that while you're playing and trying to do the side quests. As always with this Dead Rising series, there's these terrible psychopath bosses, and they're just as stupid as you would imagine. If you played Dead Rising 2 or Dead Rising 3, you know what to expect already. They have a ridiculous amount of health. You have to hit them a million times before they go down. It's just silly filler content that honestly I feel like the game would be better without. The controls are pretty awkward this time around. For example, when you aim a handgun in the game, you have to actually press the right trigger, and I'm using an Xbox controller. You have to press the right trigger, your guy will stand still, and then you'll switch to a different aiming mode where you have to use the left joystick, not the right joystick, the left joystick to control your crosshair, and then fire with the X button. The controls are all over the place. They're awful. Thankfully, the melee, using any kind of melee weapon, is just normal. You just run around, press X. Straightforward, but the firearms are awful. There's also a pretty stupid camera mechanic built in, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. The game rewards you with points for taking pictures of zombies, either zombies that look horrifying, that are eating people, someone shooting at zombies, or sexually explicit looking scenes. You'll get extra bonus points for taking good pictures. It's an unnecessary thing. I'm hoping it's not required to complete the main storyline. So far I haven't seen it blocking my way other than a side quest that was very ambiguous. But so hopefully I can just ignore that entire mechanic and play the game normally. The map is very interesting. It might be one of the better maps in the Dead Rising series as it only takes place in the mall. The biggest problem I had with Dead Rising 3 is that it took away the mall, one of the best parts of the franchise, and gave you just really boring city streets with just bad design. This time around it is one big circular mall with a large empty courtyard area in the middle, all of which is filled with zombies all over the place, so you always have a chance to try out new weapons on any nearby zombie. There's a ton of side quests and a main quest line to play, so there's a lot of content here and a lot of opportunity for replay, so that's always good. It always adds to a game's value. And while there may be a lot of side quests to play, they're all terrible. They're all escort missions almost 90% of the time, and escorting any AI in this game is such a hassle because they will get stuck on every zombie. It is incredibly frustrating. I even had an AI swing his bat, miss the zombie, and hit me instead and kill me. So, if you are, unless you're a huge die-hard, like 100% gamer, don't even bother with the side quests because they're not fun and it's not worth it. You're not going to get anything out of it. As for the main storyline, I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's relatively interesting. I like to see the Dead Rising story from the very beginning. Though I do want to give you fair warning that the dialogue is pretty cheesy.
I've covered wars, you know.
So let's take a second to talk about the game's graphics and performance. The game's graphics are pretty dated. That's to be expected though. It does look just like the Xbox 360 version. though you do have some higher resolutions and higher frame rates this time around. Performance is decent enough, though I did notice that there is micro stutter every time you hit a zombie and kill them. So this clearly needs to be fixed, because if you hit a big group of zombies, it's very noticeable and it really ruins the flow of the game. Other than that, the game runs decent enough. You won't really notice much as you're running around. Frame rate is solid 60 the entire time. And honestly, that's to be expected. This game came out like almost 10 years ago. So that's pretty much everything. I would say the game right now is valued at around $15. They are selling it for $20. I would say wait for a sale, because that micro stutter is just ridiculous and they need to fix that as soon as possible. The game is fun. The gameplay may be a little bit dated, and same with the storyline, but it's still a fun game, and if you're a fan of the franchise, you should definitely check this out now that you finally have the chance on the PC. And the higher resolutions and higher frame rates are always make games better. So be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time.